everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for my Eurovision and May TBR. So the Eurovision-A-Thon Readathon is a readathon that is hosted by my very good friend Helen from Helen's Book Haven, and it is based around the Eurovision Song Contest, which means that it actually goes for a month, but from the middle of April to the middle of May. So what that means for me and my TBR game is that for this particular May, I'm not going to do a TBR game. I'm going to talk you through the books that I would like to read for the Eurovision-A-Thon Readathon, which will go from the 15th of April to the 14th of May. Some of those come from April's TBR, so that's been decided by the roll of reads for April, and some of those I've just decided that I'm going to pick some other books that I'd like to read during the month of May, and some of them will potentially fit for the Eurovision Readathon. So if you're not familiar with the Eurovision Readathon, the idea is that you aim to read as many books as you like, as you can, from countries that are in the Eurovision Song Contest. So it could be set in that country, it could be written by an author from that country, however it is that you choose to use that particular prompt. But it is all about, it's all about loving the Eurovision Song Contest and wanting to put a reader's spin on it. Helen actually started this in 2020 when we weren't able to have the Eurovision Song Contest due to COVID, and so that was why she started it. But it was so much fun and she just really enjoyed it, and we all enjoyed joining in, so she's decided to continue it. I am not going to try and read books from all 44 countries, so I'm trying to be a little bit strategic in the way that I choose the books, because essentially you can look at lots of... Let me start again with the explanation as to how that will work. So essentially you get the points for the books that you read that correspond to that country that the country gets in the final of the Eurovision Song Contest. So, for example, if you read a book from Australia, if Australia is in the final, whatever points they get, then you will get those points for the book that you read from Australia. But if Australia doesn't make it into the final, then you won't get any points at all. The way that you can be strategic about it is that you can look up what the odds are, which countries are favoured to win or do well, what countries have done well in the past, and choose the books according to those. So I'm going to try and be a little bit strategic with that. The general idea for this TBR is I'm going to talk you through what books I would like to read for the Eurovision Readathon, and then because we have 2 weeks left at the end of May, I will not have accounted for. I'm just going to show you a few books that I'm keen to read. I will do that in a minute, but my battery is flashing at me, so I should probably change that out. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Before I do that, I just thought that I would tell you why I'm not doing my roll of reads for May. Basically, it's because I am feeling a little bit burnt out. So I had the roll of reads readathon during March, and I did quite a few sprints during the month. Lots of other things going on. I mean, it was all fun, but you know, it's an extra amount of work and effort. And then this month, where I'm filming it in April, is Veda, and I'm not doing a video every day, but I am doing a video every other day. So I'm not doing a video Tuesday and Thursday, but apart from that, all the other days have a video or a live or something like that. So I'm just feeling like I need a little bit of a break. So I decided not to do the roll of reads, but also because as much as I love doing my roll of reads and as much as I enjoy doing it for the Eurovision last year, I just feel like it would be easier not to incorporate that both together. But also, the other reason is because I have a bunch of books that people have gifted to me that I really want to try and read. I will link my most recent birthday haul because there are massive amounts of books that people sent to me, which is amazing, that I would really love to try and get to. But also, I've gotten books for Christmas and other occasions as well over the last year or so, and a lot of them I haven't read. I have lots of books that are unread on my TBR in general, but I feel like people have gone to all the effort of purchasing a book and getting it to me, so I would like to honour that and read some of those books. Plus, quite a few of the books in my most recent haul will work for the Eurovision-A-Thon. So yeah. Anyway, I will stop rambling about all those things now and just show you the books, shall I? So first off, for the end of April part of the Eurovision-A-Thon, I will be reading The Yield by Tara June Winch. This is going to be my Australia entry. I know that Australia didn't end up making it into the final last year, but I live in Australia, so, want to represent. I'm going to be buddy reading this with my friend Erin from Shubers and Shelves, and I should just say now that anyone that I talk about who has a social media presence, particularly YouTube, will be linked in the description below so you can go and find them. You should 100% subscribe to them, and especially Helen for making this amazing readathon. You should go and subscribe to her. Anyway, I will be reading this with Erin. It's reasonably short and we have decided to read it over a week, about 50 pages a day, and we'll be doing that at the very beginning of the Eurovision-A-Thon. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this one. It looks like it will be really, really interesting. It is a little bit about Australian Indigenous land rights and a little bit about just family relationships and culture within Australian Aboriginal communities. So yeah, sounds like it's really, really interesting. I've heard it's amazing, so I'm really excited to read this one. So that will be my entry for Australia. Then my entry for the UK is going to be Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I actually don't have this book yet. I have ordered it and it should hopefully be here in the middle of next week, so it'll be here within time to read for the Eurovision-A-Thon. But also I need to read it for my In Real Life book club, so that's our book club for April and May, and of course I haven't read it yet. I like to save it till near the end of the time because otherwise I'll have forgotten a lot of the stuff. Yeah, so that is the book that I'll be reading by the 30th, which is when we're meeting. I don't know a huge amount about this one. I do know that it is a fictionalized story of the situation with Shakespeare's son, whose name was Hamnet, who got ill quite young and died, and it's about that situation and how that inspired him to write Hamlet. But as to the kind of general story of how it all works, I don't really know. But it sounds amazing. I've heard really great things about it. A lot of different booktubers who I have a lot of trust in have really enjoyed it, so yeah, I'm excited to read that one. Also, at the end of April, I will be reading The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. I'll be buddy reading this with Ellie. I believe we'll be reading it over sort of a 9-day period, and that'll be at the end of April as well. So that will count towards Spain. I don't know a huge amount about this one. I know it's historical fiction set in the Second World War, I think. That's literally all I know. But I know Ellie really loves Ruta Sepetys' writing. I've heard really great things. I've heard quite a few different people talk about her recently and say that she's a fantastic writer, does write really great historical fictions. I love historical fiction and I feel like I haven't been reading enough of it recently, so I'm very excited to be reading both Fountains of Silence and Hamnet for the Eurovision Song Contest. So yeah, that's that one. So that's the end of April. The Yield and Hamnet were both on my April Roll of Reads TBR and were also going towards the Magical Reads Spring Equinox, so they'll definitely be read at the end of April, but also Fountains of Silence I should be able to read, hopefully Ellie and I, at the end of April as well. Alright, so then I'm going to talk you through some other books that I'd like to read in May and the fact that some of them will count towards Eurovision Song Contest. So I have a couple here that will count towards Eurovision Song Contest if I manage to read them in the first 2 weeks of May, and then a couple that I will buddy reading with people. So first up we have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. So this was another one that was sent to me by Joe from oh goodness, don't you hate it when you forget people's handles? Instagram, where I have to go. Books Joe Reads. Sorry about that. So this was sent to me by Joe from Books Joe Reads for my birthday. I've heard absolutely amazing things about this one. I don't think I've heard anyone say that they disliked it. This is the sort of retelling, I guess, or inspired by some of the events of the Trojan War from the Iliad, but specifically it is the love story between Patroclus and Achilles. But yeah, like I said, I've heard amazing things about it. I think it's kind of literary fiction style, myth retelling type of thing. I'm not really sure of the style, but yeah, I've heard amazing things. I read Circe a while ago, also by Madeline Miller, and loved it, so I'm very keen to read this one, and this will be representing Greece. Okay, so I just said it'll be representing Greece because Achilles and Patroclus are Greek heroes, but a lot of this potentially will take place, no, I think some of it takes place in Greece, some of it will take place in Asia Minor, but some of it will take place in Greece, so yeah, this will be for Greece. Then I have The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, and this one will go for France because it takes place in Paris. So this is a mystery thriller, and it takes place in a apartment building in Paris. Another one I know almost nothing about. I really enjoyed The Hunting Party and The Guest List by Lucy Foley, so I'm very excited to read this one, and yeah, it will count for Paris, or France, so that works really well. Then I have, again, Rachel by Marion Keyes. So this is set in Ireland, and it follows Rachel Walsh, who is one of the Walsh sisters. So Marion Keyes wrote a series of books about the Walsh sisters, and Rachel's was Rachel's Holiday, and this is a number of years, like 20 years after the events of Rachel's Holiday. Yeah, so I really enjoy Rachel's Holiday. I really liked all the Walsh sisters books, but I particularly enjoyed Rachel's Holiday, and I'm excited to dive into this one. So that's for Ireland. The country that is expected to win is the Ukraine. I don't have any books that were sent to me or that I've bought that are set in or written in Ukraine or written by a Ukrainian author, but Helen has been very helpfully putting up a bunch of different books for each country every day leading up to Eurovision, so I will have a look and see what books she has put there, what books are potentially available at my library, etc. There was a book of short stories by various Ukrainian authors that Ellie is going to read for the Ukraine that is available on Scribd, I believe, so I think I might go with that one, but I'll have a proper think about that, because why not read a book from the country that's most likely to win and earn a lot of points. But these are the books that I have chosen. So I have the UK, Australia, Spain, France, Ireland, and Greece. I'm pretty sure that all of those countries have been in the final in previous years, so I should be on the way to getting a fair few points, but I just really enjoy this readathon. I think it's a great way of reading books that maybe you wouldn't have read otherwise, and it's really fun and it's a great community, and I think Helen's fantastic, so I really want to support Helen. So those are the books that I'm hoping to read / will be reading for the Eurovision Readathon. Then I have The Alibi Girl by CJ Scoose. This is one that I'll be reading with Kat from Brews and Reviews, who is the person that sent this to me, so again, thank you, Kat. So this is about, I'll read the blurb to you. Joanne Haynes has a secret. That is not her real name. And there's more. Her flat isn't hers, her cats aren't hers, even her hair isn't really hers. Nor is she any of the other women she pretends to be. Not the best-selling romance novelist who gets her morning snack from the donut van on the seafront, nor the pregnant woman in the dental surgery, nor the chemo patient in the supermarket for whom the cashier feels ever so sorry. They're all just alibis. In fact, the only thing that's real about Joanne is that nobody can find out who she really is, but someone has got too close. So I think that sounds fantastic. It's real short, so we should read that quite quickly. And yeah, I'm excited to buddy read with Kat again. And then another book that I'd love to try and read in May is Dear Mrs. Bird by A.J. Pierce. So this is one that my parents gave me for my birthday. It is set in London in 1940, and it is about a woman called Emmy who wants to be a war correspondent, and in her attempts to become one, she ends up getting a job as the assistant to an agony aunt for a newspaper, and then she starts answering some of the letters that Mrs. Bird, the agony aunt, has deemed inappropriate. And yeah, it sounds really fun. I did have a comment on my haul saying that it was fantastic, so I'm really excited about that. I've also selected that book specifically out of all the other various books that people have sent me as a potential read for May, because my parents have asked me about 4 times now whether I've read it, so I'd really like to read it. But I do have that massive pile that people have given me for my birthday, which I'm super excited to get to. I don't have anyone in particular that is the top of my list, but I'd really love to read, well, I'd really love to read all of them, but I'd really love to read at least one of the Dirk Gently books that Rowan gave me, because I haven't read any Douglas Adams for a really long time, and he's fantastic, and I'd like to read some Douglas Adams. Plus I'm 42, and you know what that means. Got to be Douglas Adams year. So that is...
Life has no meaning now.
Sorry?
Means that after now, life has no meaning. Because 42 is...
42 is the meaning of life. So...
The universe and everything.
And everything. Life, the universe, and everything. So after now, oh no, life has no meaning. Oh no, what will I do?
Read books.
Read books. Yeah, that works for me. Anyway, so that is my very rambly and random TBR for Eurovisionathon and for May. Like I said before, all the people that I have mentioned in this TBR
Kiss Ryan.
excuse me, in this TBR are listed in the description below, so you should go and check them all out. Thank you to all those people who gave me books for my birthday. You're amazing. Please leave me a comment if you have read any of the books that I'm planning on reading. Let me know what you thought of them. Are there any ones in particular that I've mentioned that you think I should prioritize, that you'd like me to see me read? Please comment that below. Are you going in the Eurovision Readathon? Please let me know that as well. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me, if there is, I don't even know if there is, but leave me a typewriter emoji, because we have these little typewriter keys on the cover of this book. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.